Hey YouTube. Toothfairy Economics by Thomas E. Woods. A link is in the sidebar. Read it for yourself, but here's the introduction. So, the stimulus package, a dagger through the heart of the economy, has passed. The geniuses who govern us, who insist that seizing the produce of the voluntary economy and devoting it to arbitrary projects will make us wealthy, have had their victory. Much of the debate turned, unfortunately, on how much pork was in the bill. This or that spending program was silly or an obvious waste of money, critics said. All true, of course, but unless you're looking to be hired by the Titanic's Department of Deck Chair Rearrangement, we're missing the point with arguments like these. The primary fallacy of the Toothfairy economics at the heart of the stimulus is the very idea that the economic health is the product of government spending, which is financed either by borrowing, which leaves private businesses with a smaller share of the pool of savings for them to borrow from, printing money out of thin air, or at the direct seizure of funds from the population. Whatever government spends money on is necessarily arbitrary. Government lacks the profit and loss feedback mechanism that keeps the private sector from squandering resources and employing factors of production in ways that do not cater to consumer wants and needs. It can seize its resources from the people without their consent, and, by the way, at the point of a gun if you don't comply. And it makes no difference to government whether or not people actually want or wind up using the things it produces. Meanwhile, the economy loses, and the goods that would have been produced by voluntary sector had the government not seized the resources for its own use. The more sophisticated Keynesians, if that's an oxymoron, I don't know what is. If that isn't an oxymoron, I don't know what is. We'll come back with the argument that while they really do agree with you in cases when the economy is experiencing full employment, your point doesn't apply when there are idle resources. In that case, we can stimulate those idle resources into action without drawing resources out of alternative employments. The resources currently have no alternative employments. Click the link, read the rest of the article. It's excellent. It's a great way to arm yourself to discuss the matter with all those idiots out there who think the stimulus package, who think Obama, who think Mark Levin, who think Rush Limbaugh, who think Michael Savage, who think Pelosi. See, I've named all sides of it, Democrats and Republicans. Both are wrong. Nobody is getting it. This spending into oblivion is absolutely, well, look, notice how quiet YouTube's been lately. I've noticed it. It's quiet because we're feeling the absolute dread of yet another fiasco stimulus package having passed Congress. Dr. Paul keeps telling us Congress is irrelevant. And it's true. They keep going on and on with these idiotic strategies which pretend to be partisan. The Republicans blame the Democrats blame the former or the previous administration. Pfft. It's crap. It's not about party. It's not about politics. It's not about It's about wrong-headedness when it comes to economic policy, when it comes to foreign policy. We have to stop this. I don't know how we're going to do it because, well, anyway, I've tried all of the legislative means that I have at my disposal as a little peon, It's going to come down to neighbor fighting neighbor, because if enough of the idiotic American public starts buying into this thing, like heart and soul buying into it, it's going to be them versus them. Neighbor versus neighbor. Father versus son. Because they're going to start buying into all this stuff, and they're going to believe that those of you that have saved, those of you who still have any kind of goods, those of you who are still providing services on your own, independent of government opportunity, government intrusion, they're going to believe that they have a right to your stuff. And it's only fair that you give it to them. And if you don't want to give it to them, they will take it. There's loads of videos about this, but I thought this article really expressed it brilliantly. Check it out. Bye.